All right, in this problem, we are going to find the sum of this situation. It says if you receive 1 penny on the first day of the month, and then every day you receive twice as many pennies as the previous day, how much money will you have after the 30th day in that month? Okay, so what that looks like is you get 1 penny on day 1, and then on day 2, you're going to double that, get 2 pennies. On day 3, you'll double that and get 4, double that and get 8, and we're going to do that for 30 straight days. All right, so how much money will you have, okay, after you collect the pennies on the 30th day? So we got to add up all these numbers. All right, now if you look here, we have to identify what kind of sequence is this? How are these numbers growing? So they are doubling. So that means we have a common ratio. All right, so whenever you have a common ratio, that means we're dealing with a geometric sequence. All right, so when we're adding up a geometric sequence, we call that a geometric series. All right, and so we need to find the sum of this geometric series. All right, so in order to do this, we need to know the formula for this. And so the formula is going to be S sub n, again, the sum of n terms, okay, is going to equal the first term, so f of 1, okay, times 1 minus r, the common ratio, raised to the nth power. Again, n stands for the number of terms, divided by 1 minus r. All right, so the f of 1 again stands for the first term. The r is the common ratio. The n is the number of terms you're adding up. So we need 3 things in order to find the sum of a geometric series. We need the first term, we need r, and we need n. All right. Now this formula can be rewritten. Okay, some people like to rewrite it so the r comes first. So just doing a little basic algebra, if I factored out a -1, -1 would cancel out and these would be flipped. So you could also write it like this. You'll see some textbooks and teachers will use this notation, f of 1, whoops, times, and now they just flipped it. It'll be r to the n minus 1 divided by r minus 1. And the reason why some people use this is because when r is bigger than 1, okay, you will avoid the negatives, okay, that you would get here. And so they're both equivalent, okay, expressions here. We just factored out a -1 on this first one. So that's what we're going to do for this problem. So we need to identify 3 things. All right, so let's identify those 3 things. All right, what is f of 1? What is how many pennies are you receiving on day 1? Okay, and so that is 1 penny. All right, and then we need to identify r. Okay, so what is my common ratio? What am I doing every time to get the next number in the sequence? And in this case, I am doubling it, so we are multiplying by 2. So in this case, r is 2, and n, how many days am I collecting these pennies for? So n will be 30. All right, so those are my 3 values. And now all I need to do is plug those in to either one of these equations and solve. So let's do that real fast. We're definitely going to want a calculator for this problem, you guys. We're going to get some very large numbers. So let's try it. So S of 50 equals, all right, so we start plugging things in. So f of 1 is 1. That's nice. You always like multiplying by 1. And then 1 minus r to the 30th power. So 1 minus 2 to the 30th, and that's over 1 minus 2. All right, so I plugged it into this first one, so you're going to see that I'm going to get some negative numbers here. All right, if I would have plugged it into the second one, I would have avoided the negatives. All right, so either one, it doesn't matter. So right now, I'm going to need a calculator to do this. All right, so I need to do 1 minus, okay, 2 to the 30th. So 1 minus 2 to the 30th. And so if I get out my calculator and write out 2 to the 30th, it is a very, very large number. And okay, so it's a huge number. And all that's going to be divided by -1. So when we do 1 minus that, okay, that's just going to become a 3. So I'll do that, and negative divided by a negative is a positive. So my number, okay, this is the number of pennies that I will have after the 30th day. But the question doesn't ask how many pennies I have. It asks me how much money I have. So obviously I just need to do a simple little conversion and divide by 100. So when I divide by 100, I'm going to get a decimal point right. Whoops, sorry. I forgot. Oops, erase. Forgot to subtract the 1. Rewrite that. It's 23. You put the decimal in there after you divide by 100. And so we'll have $10,737,418.23 if we collected a penny and doubled it every day for a month. So that is a lot of money. Don't forget your dollar sign. Your units is always important. And that is how you add up a geometric series. You have these formulas right here.